Everybody, it's Tyler here at the Week 0 event in Manchester, New Hampshire, checking in team number 3467, Windham Windup. I'm here with Arian and also Dylan, and we're going to be talking about this really awesome robot they can essentially completed. I know there's a little bit more work to do, right? But wow, what a fantastic machine they put together so far. Of course, we'll be following that cargo journey through the robot up and in, talking about their climber, maybe some sensors, all this and more coming up here on Behind the Bumpers. Your destination for first content, updates, and gaming.
Welcome to the fun.
First Updates Now is supported by Stryker Careers. If you are a college student or recent graduate looking for an incredible internship, take a look at Stryker. Stryker provides a housing stipend, great pay, and an opportunity to work with state-of-the-art medical technology equipment. Discover why so many First alumni are coming to Stryker for their internship or career at careers.stryker.com. Get ready to celebrate your Rapid React build season with Premiere Night on Saturday, February 26 at 6 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/First Updates Now. This year, no matter where you are in creating your robot, submit a 90-second or less video celebrating your build season to Premiere Night. Submissions are due by the end of Thursday, February 24th, and you can get more details on any fun social channel or at firstupdatesnow.com/premiere22. So Dylan, we're going to start out with the intake here. Talk to me a little about just some of the concept and design and maybe any iterations you might have went through throughout the build season as well.
Right. So throughout this build season, we had a couple ideas with doing an over-the-bumper intake or also doing a Mechnum intake. We were inspired by 971's 2016 intake and also 2910's 2020 intake and 254's 2016 intake. So it's kind of a combination of all of those three to make this intake. So going through the robot through the intake, we just have this front roller here, which basically just intakes the balls from wherever it is. And then we have a set of Mechnum wheels here, which when the ball hits the bumpers, it'll just drag it straight to the center, and it'll hit this pivoting plate here, this pivoting wheel system, which will help keep compression as the ball enters the robot. So we can go ahead and show that.
And this is powered as well, too, under there, it looks like, right?
Yep. So everything's powered. It's powered 2-to-1 off of a Falcon.
Cool. Yeah, let's bring in a piece of cargo. Check it out.
Run the intake.
So this is kind of dampening it, too, right? It's allowing it not to pop out as well. I love that design, absolutely.
And we can also shoot balls straight out, too, so the ball can come out. You don't need to do that, but the ball can come just straight out and shoot right out, and it shoots pretty far. So.
Well, Arian, let's go into your indexing system next. Talk to me about what's going to. I'd really love to hear about, like, hey, how are you handling like the angle as it comes through, and maybe like how do you determine what compression, that sort of thing, you want to use as well?
Yeah. So when designing the tower, we constrained all the different rollers so that the ball would be at a nice compression and touching every single roller as it goes up the tower. We have two sets of towers here because we have beam brake sensors that detect when the ball is in, and it'll bring it up and bring it to a stop when needed. And we have two sets of motors controlling both systems. We have a 3-to-1 bag motor controlling each side, and then we have these gears that reverse the direction and a change that so they can both go in opposite directions and have them go up into the tower and ready for a shooter.
When you're looking at the 2020 game versus the cargo for this year's, how, you know, the game itself has some very similar aspects, but the dynamics of the cargo ball is very different than the infinite recharge one. How did you have to like approach like that indexing approach versus infinite recharge?
We definitely had to widen our tower up a little and make sure that all the rollers are being utilized at any time when the ball. We made sure not to have a single roller that wasn't touching the ball and make sure it had nice compression so the ball sits nice and fit in there.
Sure. Let's keep moving into your shooter here, so we'll go back to Dylan and talk a little bit more about that. Love to hear, it looks like there might be, is there a little bit of adjustment up here, or is that a solid one? And then love to hear more about just some of the thought process on your choice of Coulson wheels, how that's been reacting to the cargo, that sort of thing.
Right. So as for the hood here, we had linear actuators on there. They were servo linear actuators. They weren't stable enough for week 0, so we decided just hard mount the shooter just for this event. But we do have that in place where we should be able to have an actuating hood that changes angles. As for the Coulson wheels, these have worked really well for us, and we also have the double shooter wheels here. We know that teams have found success using this double wheel setup in the past, especially with consistency and just making sure their ball gets up to speed. It just helps transition the ball to shooting at the speed that you want it to, instead of it just going straight in.
Yeah, there's kind of two schools of thought, right? You see some that where the wheels are being driven here, and you see these double ones. When you're kind of looking at between the two, do you have experience using this double type before, and that's why you went that way?
We don't. Last year, or 2020 and 2021, we used a single-wheeled flywheel, so we don't have any experience with a dual-wheeled shooter. At our prototypes and everything that we tested in the beginning of the build season, we found that it was more consistent and it helped us shoot really well. And we wanted to go with the smaller wheels because we didn't think we would need big wheels. Yeah. It just would make it a little bit more bigger, the shooter. So we decided to go with the smaller wheels, which have worked out really well for us.
Where's your primary shot from?
It's right up against the fender.
Sure.
So we're looking, right now we can get the low goal shot right up against the fender. And then we're planning on being able to shoot to the high goal, maybe this event, but yeah.
We're looking forward to see that, and we'll start to wrap up on this robot, talking about your climbing system, talking about, like, I love hearing about kind of where the hierarchy of need is on a team in regards to, we see, of course, some teams going for a traversal climb versus other teams focusing a little more on shooting. Talking about your climber and then kind of how that worked into your strategy for this year's game.
Yeah, so these we have right here are two climber in the boxes from Andy Marth. And they're able to extend to the height to get onto mid bar and low bar when needed. We decided to go with these so we can have a nice climber to have for week 0. But hopefully we're having a design to come through to able to get on the traversal in the future.
Are the hooks COTS hooks as well too?
Yep, everything is from climber in the box from Andy Mark here. And everything except these, the power, which is a Falcon 500, which is a 21-to-1 ratio on a 90-degree mount to help utilize the motors and not be outside the frame printer.
Last thing I asked about, I know we weren't going to go too much on your sword drive, but I do see you have some sword drive modules over there. When you're looking at kind of doing the swap out, can you just talk about, because it looks like you have a very well-built system to kind of just swap these out easily. Can you talk to me a little about that process?
Yeah, correct. So if some motor were to crash and we need to replace the whole module, it's a simple 6 bolts right here, and then we have all the CAN wires and PDP wires we have to unplug, and module out and new module in and replug it in, and programmers can do their work at reprogramming the the cans and everything, and the robot's back and ready to drive.
Well, Windham Windup, thanks a lot for taking the time to tell us about your robot here, of course, at week 0. This team is looking fantastic. I can't wait to see, with a week 1 competition coming up, that's coming up pretty quick. Yep. I can't wait to see how this team does. So good luck the competition season, and thanks for taking the time.
Thanks to Stryker Careers for their support in this video. First, alumni and mentors are making Stryker a top priority for their internships and careers. That's because Stryker knows that those in first are the leaders and innovators of tomorrow. If you want to help make the world a better place by creating life-saving medical devices and technology, get started at careers.stryker.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on our new videos. Keep the conversation going and provide your input to our content. Watch our live shows at twitch.tv/firstupdatesnow. Join our Discord at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow, and check out Fun FTC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and First Updates Now on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.